I know the setting, just gotta be more, just learn a little thing.
Yeah.
Suitable for framing certificate.
No, it's addressed to you. He brought it to you.
I don't know. Oh, she's on, I think she's on vacation. I think so, yeah. She's probably on vacation, quarantining someplace.
This weekend.
Just Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Monday.
Yeah.
That's what he has.
Your quarantine vacations. Yeah.
Is everybody back at the radio station now?
Dave's first day back.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
nice job on
Oh,
making
thanks.
City Hall.
Thanks. Witnesses are going after us, county commissioners.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
That's
We all got it. Really?
You can have mine.
They've been spread out a couple weeks apart,
You can
so
have mine. It's in the garbage.
that's Jehovah's Witness and stuff. The Jehovah Witness that you got it.
Morning, JP.
Yeah,
Morning.
yes.
Belated please.
I think it's 9 o'clock. I believe. That's close to it.
It is right now. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call our meeting of the weekly Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Gable, would you lead us today?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, actually, I'll mention if you have a cell phone, if you would silence that, please. And if you need to take a call, if you'd step out of the room to do that. Also, we are streaming live, so people can access us that way as well. Item number 2 is call for public comment. If individuals would like to call in, we have 2 phone numbers, 882-6248 or 882-6297, and we will address those issues during the open portion of our meeting, and they are items that are not on the agenda and just for information purposes only. Conflict of interest items, is there any on the agenda for fellow commissioners?
No.
No.
All right, item number 4, action to approve the November 17th, 2020 agenda.
So moved. Second.
All right, motion by Waterman, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 5, action to approve the minutes of the November 10th, 2020.
So
meeting.
moved.
Motion by Van Duzen,
I'll second.
second by Gable. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. We will move on to monthly reports, and we'll start out with our highway superintendent. Rick, would you please come up and share? And you have a couple other items here we'll take care of when you're here as well.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
First off, we do not have any roads closed that belong to the county, other than the ones that have been closed for years. We've got everything built up to a grade that we feel hopefully will last for a while, so. We don't need any snow, no more rain, all that good stuff for a long time. But by Stink Lake, we finally got that up to grade.
Okay.
And it's open. When they were graveling it, it was already open, and they said there was a lot of traffic, a lot of people were using it, so a lot of grain haulers and hunters and
School buses.
school buses and everything, so,
Very good.
yep.
I've been waiting for that one.
The guys finally finished our fall mowing after the snow melted. That was kind of a headache for a little while. I was kind of afraid that if winter was gonna set in, we'd have some messes, but they got that, we're able to get that done. They're hauling gravel in the western part of the county now. The gravel pile that we have is in danger of probably being underwater this spring. So we're trying to get as much of that out of there as we can. Because of the pit that it's in, the water is getting higher all the time. That's still running out of Long Lake and headed east into Horseshoe, McGilligan's, and it just, the water keeps coming up. So we should have most of it out of there for too long.
Do you have some outside help helping you?
Yes. Yep. We have two guys right now, Neil Jacobson and Jared Shocker are helping us haul gravel.
I guess hauling it into town and stuff.
No, we're putting it on the roads,
Oh, okay.
like up by Florence and over by
Yep.
Henry,
Mhm.
and some of that by Stink Lake and Long Lake, where we built it up. We had to gravel some of that.
Mhm.
So we have all the wing posts on our motor graders, all the hitches on our trucks, and we've taken those in and out a few times. Last Friday, the southeast corner of the county, that was the only place that had an inch of snow, maybe a little more. It was just down by Kransburg, right in the southeast corner of the county. That was the only place that got hit. So we had a little plowing, a little sanding to do down there. I had a few more emails from Lance Berger with the state about the railroad crossing up by Rawville. And the railroad's still pretty firm on the 50,000 for the county share. And that does not include the asphalt that we'll have to repair to match that up to make it a smooth transition when they replace the crossing. So we're still working on that. I have the phone number here if you want to call that number. It's 1-800-832-5452. And the crossing number is 075-489H.
H is in Henry.
Yes.
Okay.
So call it every day, 10 times a day,
Yeah.
please, because it's rough and it'll get a whole lot rougher as the winter goes on and the frost starts to move things around. And they know it needs to be replaced, but the county share is awfully high from
From
any
0
other
to
any other
50.
superintendents that I've talked to, but it's one of those deals. So
Well, if we have to share in that, then they should have to share in the asphalt.
talk to the railroad.
I know, I'm just
They have
saying.
their own set of rules for
That's
everything.
right.
I know.
Yep. I also talked to NextEra. They are not going to do any more repairs on our gravel roads. They did roughly 2.5 miles straight north of Waverly on 7-3. And they were started digging the soft spots out, something that they should have did at the beginning of this year, like we did on the rest of our roads, or repairing them somehow. They didn't do anything to them. They went in, they addressed the shoulder issue where it was higher than what the road was. They went in there with a scraper, and they're still, as far as I know, still doing some of that over by Kransburg. I'm not sure if they got done. I didn't make it over there yesterday, but they're peeling the shoulder off so the road will let the water run off. Before the road was hammered down and the shoulders were higher, so any water could not run off the road. And they did address some of that. So, but they are not going to do any more repair. They straightened them up and now they're pretty much ours. So
But they'll come back next spring though, right? Or they're
No,
thinking they're totally done?
they're I think so.
So their solution to ruining our roads was to make the ditches lower and shake in the sides and
Yeah,
forget about the roads.
yeah, they did a really poor job of taking care of our roads. So.
Kind of what I expected.
Does
Yep.
it, did it comply with our road haul agreement? I mean, that's
No.
the question. So if they're not in compliance
No,
with that,
they're
then
not even close, you know. They were gonna have it better than when we came, when they came.
Mhm.
They used our roads. They hauled some gravel in places, but like the soft spots, they should have taken care of them. They did nothing with them. They used the road all summer. Well, they started last fall, beat our roads and then didn't do anything with them to repair it. So.
okay, so they're not complying with the road haul
No,
agreement.
so Banner is still doing their assessment.
Okay.
And they'll come up with the plan to fix them. So we'll be in negotiations with Next Air and Banner.
And there's no bond money or anything going back on it.
So, but the PUC is behind us, so
Mhm. Yeah, Gary Hansen actually came out and made some comments about that.
yes. Yeah.
So I would be curious to keep our finger on the pulse of that situation.
Yes.
And if we need to, we can reach out for
Mhm.
additional
Yeah.
assistance on that.
Yeah, and I sent them a letter here a few weeks ago. So. As long as we're on good news, the new boxes that we ordered for our new dump trucks are in COVID hell. This summer, the place that makes the boxes, they were shut down because it's over in Minnesota. The state shut them down, so with COVID. And now the company that will install the boxes in Sioux Falls, they've had COVID run through their plant down there, so we should have had our boxes by now. They are telling me January, but that's not a firm date. So I'm gonna talk to Becky again. I've already talked to her, but she wanted me to tell you guys what was going on, so.
Who's installing them, Paul?
Northern Truck,
Safety, safety service.
that I'm not sure what it used to be called, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
So
Swire.
that's where they're at. They're still in the process, but like I said, they won't give me a firm date. It started off, we should have had them in September. Then it got moved to November. Well, we're in November towards the end of it. Now they're telling me January, so we're still all right. Our trucks are still hauling gravel, so. But it's one of those deals. Next week, I will have a notice to bidder for more riprap out there by Stink Lake on 8-1 that we built up. That was the final stretch. And there's roughly 12,000 ton that needs to be placed along that stretch. It's a pretty good stretch there. And then we have another spot up south of Wallace that when the water was high this spring, it had riprap on it, but it got higher than the riprap and it worked into the road. We've fixed the road part. Now we need to add some more riprap. Last year we did the north side because there was no riprap on that. So we'll add more riprap to the south side.
Never ending, is it?
No. Last Friday, Cindy, Jamie, Sherry, Lori, and I had a conference call with James Teets from FEMA. And it sounds like everything that from the first disaster last year is pretty much in order. And we should be closing out on that before too long. Cindy had signed.
It is closed out, I think,
Okay,
as far as I know.
so it should be.
The first, that was the spring
Yeah, that was the spring.
from
disaster.
2019.
Yes. And we still have an open one from last fall in September, so. When this gets all closed out, then we'll start working on that, so. And that just has the two places on County Road 8 and County Road 10. Both spots that we had to redo this year, so.
So
What are we looking at? A 2 or 3 year delay? As far as payment?
Well,
Two. It occurred in 2019, so
Yeah.
this is normal.
yeah, it was.
I mean, we've been reimbursed for everything but the road portion of stuff,
Yes.
which takes longer to get through. The roads take longer to get repaired, so.
Yeah, because this was in 2019, it happened between March 26th and April 9th, somewhere in that
Mhm.
vicinity. So all of our portion is done. Now we're just waiting the final payment. So. that's-
Rick, I want to back you up to just a minute to go back to the road issue. You said Banner is negotiating with,
Would be next era.
talking with NextEra about that. When is
Well,
that going to be resolved? or when is-
Banner is doing the assessment of the roads right now.
Mhm.
They still are compiling all their essentials and they'll come up with a plan that needs to be done.
And then they'll submit that to NextEra?
Yes.
Okay.
So Banner, if I remember, they did a baseline assessment before,
Yes.
and so they're gonna compare, the current result to that baseline.
Yes.
So if we've been made whole or not. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a non-negotiable item once Banner gets their results back then.
Well, it'll still be a negotiable because Banner is our engineering firm
Right.
and I'm sure NextEra won't just write us a check.
Well,
which would be nice, but
what is the time frame on that?
that it's still open, they have like 120 days to come up with their plan. But it's we just, a few weeks ago, were able to go in and look at everything. So
Yeah.
they didn't turn it back over to us. So
My concern is now we're getting into the winter months and
yeah, there won't be any more done to the roads this year. They patched the asphalt this fall and the gravel, most of it, what they didn't take care of, we will to get it so we can plow snow off it. And most of it is in that shape already. So.
Okay.
But
just want to make sure that they're safe and that there's no soft spots if traffic's going to.
no, pretty soon they'll be hard.
Yeah.
They'll firm up real quick.
So next spring is when we're gonna have issues.
Yeah,
again.
that's what I'm afraid of is next spring. This will all depend on what we have for moisture this winter. So,
But at least they are going to be in good enough shape that you're gonna be able to plow snow. And
yes.
that part of it is good, so.
Okay, thanks.
All right, well, we might as well move on then to item number 7, action to approve a change order for the County Road A2 grade raise project.
This is in the amount of $800, $879.85. There was roughly 100 ton of gravel and 5 ton of riprap and a few miscellaneous, but that was it for the change order on the.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, we will move on then to facility manager monthly report with Steve. Morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I didn't get to see everybody last month. Kind of had the COVID. But now I've returned. Well, let's start out with the courthouse here and so we had this past month. Of course, we had, absentee voting going on in here and kind of busy. Plus with taxes and so that also was kind of congested and busy. Also here this coming week, I was told there's going to probably be the first jury trial in the courthouse since the COVID had hit back in March. We had to accommodate a little bit more for some access for bathrooms. So we have an access, there is an access door to the men's bathroom up in the downstairs in the ground floor to the jury room. So we access the door there, and when that trial goes on, the men's bathroom will be closed and locked up during that, so they can, when they have breaks, they can have enough time to get people in to do that. Also, as you noticed, got a handrail in, got a little bit of tweaks to do with it yet. We had installed that on Saturday. Justin and I did. But prior to that, I had installed a camera down by the stairs because we had a few slips and falls. So I wanted to really know what was going on. We had noticed that people are actually stepping over the line, thinking it's the bottom stairs and missing the last step. And so that kind of helped a little bit resolve. It's kind of funny, but it must be that line must have indicated they thought it was the bottom step.
We have it, our last two, it was.
Right.
I think we added the line.
They were added, yes,
yeah.
the second one. So for some reason, that striped line was confusing people. So we took one away, kept the one, we'll keep the one there for the time being. With the handrail, hopefully that will help resolve. I think some people, like it is, Mile had in a report about for the handrail, some people were starting to cross off of the end rail, going across. So I think with the combination of both, I believe was probably part of the issue. So hopefully the center handrail will help resolve some of our issues. Also, this week, hopefully, we are going to replace some of the parking signs for the 15-minute parking signs. The posts are all twisted and shaped. And I've gotten some mounts from Rick to put the Telspar post in on the sidewalk so it don't get bumped with the snow plow and stuff like that. So hopefully that can make an improvement down there.
Are you going to straighten out the ones in the sheriff's office parking too?
Those are also going to get Telspar ones and straighten out and stuff like that. So
Thank you.
yep, yes, it does look hideous.
Yeah.
It doesn't help with the snow removals and then moving snow out of there. So ag building, most of the activity out there has been auctions. And of course, yesterday was concerned because some of the tables are getting a little bit beat up a little bit from some of the auctions. I believe Myron had gone out and looked at them and stuff, and I don't know what kind of resolution that you guys probably going to propose for that. So
Well, what we decided, I met with Becky and Jody and custodial staff out there, and the tables that are out there, we let the auction people use them, and that's fine, but they don't ever cover them, and they scratch them, and they put stuff that leaks grease on them, and they look like
They're dirty.
they're.
When I go to use them
Right.
for my
Yeah,
election,
even that. And
yeah, they're so
they're
stained. They're
stained.
so stained
they're
up.
stained, yes.
so we said, okay, let's figure this out. What can we do? And it was suggested that we put in the contract when they lease the facility for an auction or whatever they're going to use the table, is that there's a table maintenance fee. And right now, the way where we're at right now is Jody is going to find out what the cost is going to be. She said she can buy. She's a little bit concerned about buying these rolls of table covering because she was going to have them for her event here a while ago, and she couldn't get it. You know, just like everything else in Coab, everything is. So she's going to find out the availability and how much it is, and then try to determine how much it is per table. You know, if it's like $1 to cover a table or $2, figure that out first, and then we're going to go from there and say, okay, if you need 20 tables, you're going to pay 40 extra bucks for, but the tables have to be covered, and the people that are having the auction are going to be responsible for covering them, making certain that they are covered. And as far as after when the auction is over, we're responsible out there for the cleanup, so they'll clean up the coverings or whatever. So they're, Jody and Becky and custodial staff, they're putting together a proposal which they'll bring to us. That's where we're at there.
That will be added into the contract.
Yeah, yep. And if you, Becky had some pictures and I didn't bring them along, but Cindy, you can attest that they're just getting grimy
And scarred up.
and
Yeah.
scarred up.
Yeah.
Well, you can imagine if somebody puts
What does one of those tables cost?
oh, they're probably in a $50 range.
I think might be a little higher. I'd have to double check. I know that in the past Milo had purchased some, I know off and on, and I know that Jody gets some. It's kind of a shared deal sometimes between,
Yep.
They're talking about those lifetime plastic.
yes, and stuff,
So
so.
something like that, then maybe the ones that are already, damaged or whatever should be the ones that get used first or whatever.
Probably those
So we
should
can
be
separate it
designated on
out.
a certain cart that those are for sale and marked,
Yeah, and we discussed all that.
That way we
Okay.
get new ones.
Yep.
those aren't-
And the other part of it too is this, if you're going auction sale out there and the heaviest guy at that auction sale is gonna try to sit in the middle of that table.
Mhm.
And we're kind of eyeballing them and they're all kind of sway back. But it's being addressed. So basically what needs to be known is that the people that are using that facility need to be aware of that they're probably going to get a table maintenance adjustment to the contracts. Just for upkeep and maintenance.
Thank you, Myron.
So that will also be for individuals who use them for receptions or that
Yep.
sort of uses as well.
Yep, and that's what they said are we gonna make it a deviation here? And I said, no, it's whoever uses them, that's the cost. That's the way it is.
Plus, also out at there, I believe this coming week or so, there's gonna be some electrical outlets that's gonna be installed in the barn. Ag committee had, gotten a quote a while back, and so we had for some, electrical outlets more that go down the center for the farm show. They had come and asked me if we could be able to turn around and help with that, alleviate some of that cost. I do have some in the budget, so I will find out how much and then come to you guys for the amount. So we got on that.
That's typically when there are improvements that are made with that group of individuals and the county has helped them out.
Yes.
On a certain amount each time that they do different.
I guess what
projects.
really surprised me after taking this position, how much actually the ag committee actually contributes and does
Yeah,
Out
they
at
do
the-
quite a bit.
out at the extension building.
They have made a lot of improvements out there, so.
All right, going on the weed. A week ago, we actually did not have their district meetings. They had put together a Zoom meeting. And so it wasn't actually mandated by all the counties to do it this time. I had listened on into it. A lot of it is there's a lot of, they felt they need to do something because there's a lot of counties that have new weed supervisors, and to get them on track for some of the things of grants and different programs, they felt they needed to have a Zoom meeting. There's actually a few people that listened in on that Zoom meeting. They did have a follow-up answering question on last week also. Separate meeting, there was probably only a handful that actually listened in on
So
that
the
Zoom
meeting
meeting
was
there.
held, the district meeting was held, but it was via Zoom
But
or?
via Zoom,
Okay,
yeah, it was
all right.
kind of a district meeting, but via Zoom,
Clarifying.
yep. Pretty soon I'll be probably working on the grant reimbursement, and so for this 2000, it'd be actually FY 2021 to get them submitted for reimbursement back on the chemicals and stuff. Going on to park. Well, the park had a banner year this year. It's been improving every year over the past, but I had the walls turn around and give me a report that comes off of the, off of our program and so we had an occupancy in 2019 was 48.2%. Occupancy in 2020 was 52.2%. So it's been improving. Revenue by transactions receipts 2019, and I know that Cindy could probably see if this is correct, but
My numbers are not gonna match their numbers
possibility.
just based on deposit times. so,
Right.
Yeah,
They had there on their deal was $149,061.95.
in
2019.
Okay.
Revenue transaction receipts in 2020. 194, 235.70. I'm gonna have to attribute most of it due COVID.
So there is a
Um,
positive.
There is a positive to the COVID.
That was
It-
something people could do.
People could do
That's
is can't. I know state parks were full all the time also. Plus, we had pretty well most of the time, pretty good weather on the weekends. Pretty well most of the summer. A couple storm events on a Friday night or so or something come through, but pretty well the weather was very good. On 2019, it was really doing good, but we had a lot of rainy weather events. A lot of people had to cancel because some of the areas were flooded. So that was probably the biggest thing. It was going very, very good in 2019, but of course with the weather and reimbursements that right away at the beginning season because of the COVID, there was a few of them that canceled, but it seems like what canceled, somebody else filled in. They were pretty well booked every weekend, all summer long.
Good.
Great.
But that being said, we need to thank the Walls for all the work that they did. And, this just doesn't happen.
It was it was pretty tough for them. I mean, it's for new, a few of the rules and so like that kind of got a little bit tough, was a little bit, what do you want to say, testy for them. So, and stuff. So, I'll kind of finish this report a little bit. The receipt transactions in 2019 was 2,021. For 2020, 2,269. Online transactions in 2019, 26,167. For 2020, 47,599.
So you say transactions.
Online, so that
There's a
means-
reservation.
So online reservations.
That
It-
was the second group of numbers. The first ones were
Which,
the
those 2019 was just receipt transactions. Yeah, total receipts. So.
Yeah.
They did have in here, the reports in Camp Master are temperamental. It is a complicated system. One of the things is we are going to get together, probably looking like, are you available Wednesday at 3:30 for
Is that
them?
tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Walls are going to come. They've looked at about at least 6 to 8 different online reservation programs. I think they've kind of made their decision. This one here will actually have the credit card transactions cheaper than what they are now. So they really compared, they kind of like things on the Camp Master program, but there's things they don't like. And this one here had very comparable for things that they liked and didn't like. They periodically, they would get online, be zoomed in with the person, they would go through things. The program that they are looking at, they really like and stuff like that. So I've left that to them because they are used to what's going on and stuff. So we'll probably come to you probably by the 1st of December on what decisions that are, what the costs are.
Because
So-
they'll be continuing doing these.
Yes.
throughout, And that was part of our
Yep.
contract is they'll
Yep.
continue to take reservations.
Yep, well, and the deal is a lot of reservations are not made now won't be until February, the online ones and stuff like that, but we need to have. One of the things is we need to get things from this program onto their program and stuff like that and stuff and some of the offers that they have. So.
Right.
That's pretty well what I have. Any other questions?
Well, I do have a comment. I think the walls coming in first year, circumstances being somewhat, they're getting used to it. We had some rockiness to start with, a lot of smoothing out to do, and I think the numbers show we should give them a round of applause virtually.
All right.
That's
Thank you.
Bet.
All right, item
Thanks, Steve.
number 8, action to approve a funding agreement with the USGS for CY 21. Cindy will let you.
This is an annual agreement with the U.S. Department of the Interior, the U.S. Geological Survey, for the operation and maintenance of 1 stream flow gauge, 2 real-time flood monitoring stations, and 2 real-time precipitation gauges from January 1 through December 31st, 2021. This agreement has been approved annually since prior to 2000. And these are for this equipment is located on the Big Sioux River near Florence, Mud Creek near Rawville, South Branch tributary Mud Creek near Rawville, precipitation gauge at Waverly and at South Shore. The contract amount for pay 2021 is $9,835, which is less than a 4% increase from what we paid in 2020.
Move to approve.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by
I got
Johnson. Okay, any other discussion, comments, questions?
Just would like to say how valuable that is as a tool for our county, not only for us, but for the folks that are downstream too. I think that that's critical that we have that in place, and it's been good to have it, so.
It's a valuable resource.
Mhm.
All right, anything else? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 9, action to health insurance employer premium splits.
I gave you a worksheet, and this worksheet is prepared just like the one from pay this year, pay 2020, where the county pays the full premium for anyone who chooses a single policy. We have 3 different options. And then for the family, the county pays 50% of option 1. Anyone who needs a family policy, the county pays 50% of that, which amounts to this year $971.76. If an employee chooses either option 2 or 3, that same amount is paid by the county, and then the employee pays the remaining premium. And this is the way it's been split for a number of years. So
Make a motion to approve this.
All right, motion by Gable,
Second.
second by Waterman. Any questions, comments?
and the county's policy is with Sanford.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, that motion carries. All right, we'll move on to item number 10, action to approve the 2021 liquor license renewals. Cindy has
This
that.
is the annual renewal of the county held liquor licenses. There are 4 of them. In addition to a liquor license, Dakota Sioux Casino also has a wine license. The wine and cider license is $500. And then the liquor license for each establishment is $850. These amounts remain with the county. the applications do go to the state of South Dakota after we sign them, so the state can do their investigative work on sales tax payments and that type of thing. But the funds for, whereas malt beverage, half of the $300 stays here and half goes to the state of South Dakota. The liquor license fee stays in the county. And those renewing are the Country Road Barn, Dakota Sioux Casino, the Rooster Sports Bar, and the South Fork Lounge. To my knowledge, none of these businesses have had any violations in the past year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 11, action to amend the CCJC charter. Lee, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
You.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, this is a pretty minor amendment, but for those of you, the CCJC is the Codington County Justice Advisory Committee. The charter says that the committee will meet at least 2 times per year. Well, with COVID, and that's marked, that's in your packet. So, but with COVID, that kind of became hard to do. And also it's not, I don't think it's really necessary. And some of the other groups would be just say as needed. So this allows the chair and the members to agree on when to meet as needed. So that's, so I make a motion that we amend the charter as shown. It's shown on the screen for people to
I'll
look at.
second motion.
Got a motion by Gable, second by Van Duzen. Any questions or comments? Pretty straightforward, makes more sense, I guess, that way, especially if things aren't happening. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 12, discussion possible action to adopt a resolution to ban open burning. I did receive an email from Jamie and I will read that to you. He said attached is supported fire weather information for upcoming week from the state climatologist and grassland fire index from the National Weather Service in Aberdeen. Reading through it, the trouble spots are still West River. Grassland maps show us in a moderate level. Tuesday and Wednesday would be best chances of some elevated fire dangers due to wind activity and warmer temperatures. But we look to be in the good with higher relative humidity and small chances of precipitation later in the week. He's assisting with the mass COVID testing, so that's why he isn't able to be at our meeting today. So it looks like we are in the moderate at this point, so I don't know what your wishes are, just leave it the way it
Make a
is.
motion to leave it on the agenda for future discussion, but right now not to take any action.
I don't think you need to make a motion to leave it on.
Okay.
We'll just leave it
Yeah,
on.
it'll just, yeah.
We won't,
Perfect.
we'll
Okay.
just leave things the way they are.
You can suggest.
I rescind my
Just
motion.
ask people to be careful when it's windy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, I will
Absolutely.
just leave it on there until somebody tells me to take it off.
Sounds good. All right, so item number 13, action to approve claims for payment.
We have none today.
Okay. 14, action, possible discussion on COVID-19 practices, procedures, or policy. Anything for today? No. Item number 15, action to approve automatic budget supplements.
Nothing for 15.
16, we do have action to approve of personnel changes. We have one, or maybe you have.
Oh, just one. She is the clerical in the Veteran Service Office. Peg Rammel is due her step increase to step 14. And it's $3,582.66 per month.
Move to approve.
By Johnson,
Second.
second by Waterman. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. No travel requests that I can see. Public notices, possible quorum of commissioners could be attendance at. Do we have any?
Government affairs is tomorrow morning, but that's a virtual thing.
Right.
So,
I don't know, state volleyball girls will be down in Brookings, so I don't know if there could be a bunch of us there at that or not, but could be a possibility. Good luck to them in their efforts to retain the state title. Item number 19, old business. Have any?
just, so the wage survey or the compensation and classification study is getting going slowly. So right now, Natalie's been working with the consultant McGrath and to get some of the information together. So having to ask departments for things like organization charts and getting all the basic data. So it's kind of a push right now for them to get the initial data. make sure we have it all online, and that gives them a baseline. So it's a little bit of an ask from the departments right now. Did I get that right? Okay.
All right. Item number 20, new business. Have any new? How about for the open? I don't believe we had any phone calls. The girls didn't say anything. Does anyone else have anything for the
I
open?
do.
All right.
I had a chance yesterday to speak with President and CEO Casey DeBoer of Prairie Lakes Healthcare in Watertown. And I just want to reach out and thank our healthcare providers. I think it's important that we keep them on our minds for what they're continuing to do up there, because they are really battling a war up there right now. And I think it's easy for us that aren't in the healthcare industry to sit back and just go about our daily lives without realizing exactly what they're doing up there. So hats off to the healthcare workers at Prairie Lakes. Not only that, but in our assisted living centers and our clinics and in other facilities that are treating COVID patients and everybody else. So thank you on behalf of me, my family, and all of us on this commission for doing what you're doing, because we know where we would be without you folks, and it wouldn't be good. So it's not good now, but keep up the good fight and we'll get through this. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Troy, for that. Yes, we support their efforts. They are definitely under the gun right now. All right, item number 22, action to enter into executive session. Natalie, do we have a reason?
Yep.
Personnel and labor. All right,
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
motion by Gable.
Any business after the meeting?
Second.
Will we have any outcomes? Doesn't sound like it. Second by Van Duzen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session. Under 1 and 3.
Stop it.